Frank Kent started in the automotive industry back in the early 1900s. And at that point, he actually was having to show people how to drive a car as opposed to drive a carriage. So Frank Kent actually started in the automotive industry at the onset of the automotive industry. And from there, he partnered with a guy in Fort Worth named Sanford Webb, and they had a Buick store named Webb Kent Buick. And then in 1940, he was awarded the Ford franchise. So from 1940 to 1952, we were a Ford distributor dealer in the state of Texas and Fort Worth, and actually I think we were top 2 in the country at the time. And then Cadillac, GM reached out to him and said, we'd like for you to be our distributor for Cadillac for Fort Worth and Western Texas. And so he took on that responsibility, and when he did, he relinquished the Ford franchise. And so we were Cadillac from 1953 until today. And we started downtown at Main and Lancaster, and we're there until the early 1980s. And then we moved from there out to the traffic circle, which is at 377 and 183 in West Fort Worth. And then in 2012, we moved the Cadillac store out to where it currently is, which is at 820 and Chapin Road in West Fort Worth off of Loop 820. And in that period of time, we've acquired the Hyundai store in 2013. And then down in Corsicana, we acquired the Buick, GMC, Chevy, and Cadillac point in 2016. So currently, we've got Cadillac, Hyundai, Buick, GMC, Chevrolet, and then Cadillac again in Corsicana.
Frank Kent was quite possibly one of the most amazing men that I've ever met. He was my great-grandfather. He was our founder, and he's our inspiration. He was a true gentleman. He believed in morals, values, and ethics before profit, which is what we are founded on. It's the core belief of our entire company. His handshake was his word, and so if he told you he was going to do something, he was going to do it.
Everything that he did always put the customer first. And you know, that's an easy statement to say, it's a tougher one to follow up on, but to solidify that fact, he was inducted in the Automotive Hall of Fame the same year as Mr. Honda. And so very few dealers have been awarded that opportunity to be into the Automotive Hall of Fame. And the reason that that happened was because of his focus on the customer. And so we have continued that same philosophy, is putting the customer first. And our guiding principles, morals, values, and ethics before profit. And that is what grounds us with everything we do within our organization. It is the litmus test to what we put everything up against before we make a decision on whether we're going to move forward with something or do a certain activity. And all that goes back to the foundation that Frank Kent laid back in the 1920s when he started in the automotive industry.
Frank Kent was super involved in every charity aspect of Fort Worth, community aspect, anything that had to do with Fort Worth he was involved in, and just had a true passion for the community that he called home.
I think there's a lot of things that make Frank Kent unique. One, we're still family owned. And in today's day and age with corporations coming in and buying up a majority of the dealerships, the fact that there's still a family behind that dealership that you're trusting your business with is a big deal.
The company was founded by our great-grandfather, and then our grandmother took it over, and then our mother took it over, and now Will and I are the 4th generation running the store, with actually the 5th generation came on board, so to speak, in 2010 when my nephew was born. And so we are prepping things for him. But typically in the automotive world, most dealerships don't last past a 2nd or 3rd generation. So we're very honored to still be carrying on the torch and hopefully taking the company to bigger and better heights.
So the fact that my sister and I are 4th generation, we understand the responsibility that that brings, we understand the honor that that bestows upon us, and the trust that the community's given us.